This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. So today we discuss the
Good
topic
morning.
about I'm going here Excel. So here, so this is a record. This line is a record. Able to see, right? Okay. Oops. Close this. Right. Anything here. So putting the value something. Generally we see name, class, section, name, class, section, something like this. Anything, right? So I'm just ask me there. So here we go for the name. Okay. A class, eighth class, section A, section B, right? Here, okay, ninth class, A section, here, all right? Ninth class, section A, okay? Ninth class, section B. So something like this here. So this is called table. Whenever we see something with the combination of the rows and columns, right? Combination of rows and column. This is table. So here, this is horizontal line, right? This horizontal line represents the record. So record holds the value of the particular person. So Surya is belonging to the class and this is the section. And it is the Prakash as this is the class. And here this is the we say vertical one is a column, which is the field again, right? Is field having the its one. So here this is the category always represents, and this is the information belonging to the person or any record it represents. So this is a simple table. Okay. So if you talk about the tables, right? Always we have the tables. We should understand what are the records and the fields. What are the table classes in this, and what are the table relationships? What is the schema maps? We are in the coming near future, right? We'll be understanding with this topic. We understand what exactly all this. So first we talk about the see before we log into the service now and we start going to this like what is that what are the tables right here we see the tables. So there is a module and called something like tables under system definition there are tables and table columns. So which is holding the table and this is the holding table and the columns information. So before we start this, just try to understand the small brief definitions about these tables. Table is nothing but collection of records, right? It's a combination of we can say rows and columns. Just we see it can be anything. See, this is a combination of just we saw right, rows and columns. This is a combination of rows and columns. This is a collection of records. This will be having here how many records we have? One, two, three, four, right? So there are the four records we are having, and also combination of rows and columns, right? So this is what generally the table means. What is the field? The field is individual piece of information is stored on the field, which can be a column. See, generally here everything is called a column, right? So this is one column, and column, column. This everything is right. You see the block, right? I am moving through. This everything is called a column. So this column holds the information. So here the name information, right, in this column, here the class information, and here the section information. Always this field, each field is the holding some information, piece of information. This is holding, this is the column, right? So then we say, again here, when you go to the tables here inside our service now, right, system definition tables, you see the same thing. So these are all the tables which we are having in service now. Whenever we install the service now, it come which comes with a lot of tables. So ServiceNow is generally the architecture made with like this. So This is the everything, all the information, whatever the information stored in ServiceNow in the form of table. The table again contains the information. See here, so same thing, right? This is a table, right? What we want to see, the tables. Again here, so the same thing. This is a table name. Actually, the readable name, username, what we say here, label is always username. This is actually
Tables,
what the
right?
system understand with the name, right?
So
This is
incident.
exactly what we
Our
say the
favorite is
value, right?
incident because
And whether it is
we know all
extended or not,
the
we see that
columns and
what
what
is
the
the
values
extents and
holding in
extensions will
individual
be
and
most on the incident. So I'm taking an
and this is the
example
updated
of the
when it is
incident.
created or
So right.
updated,
So
last
this is the property
updated,
of the incident. So
right?
exactly
This
see
is what
once
we
we
see here.
open any table,
So
right?
once we try to open,
So everyone,
our
so
favorite is
always
incident, right?
table has a label. Just take an example of the label is which we understand. What is the user understands. So generally we keep easy names. The generally you go any place there is a technical name and there is a name, right? Something like this. The label is a just we what the user keeps the name. So this actual name is the actual name where the database, the service system understands the extents. This extents maybe we see further, right? And what this table is having the columns, these are the columns which is having, and this is conditions we see this once we create the table, right? And the application access and all the stuff. This is the basic information what we see. And how what are the columns it is having, say for example incident. So incident list. So just once we compare with this, right? Here there is a vertical line, right? Here, whenever we open one record, when we are referring to the one record, right? Surya and the class name and the sections, right? The same thing here. This is a number which is having the number, and when it is opened, and what is the short description of this? Who has created this? What is the priority and the state and category? These are the what? These are the feeds. These are actually the columns which is holding the actual value. So just try to open one record. So this is a record which is INC series 7, right? So this is something like this, which I have opened this record here. Okay, this is having the class and the section, right? The same thing, this record is having number, the color, category, subcategory, and all this information within this. And this is exactly, I mean, this is what? This is the form. The form displays one record at a time. Whatever the record, this record is holding, right? This record is holding, this information will be loaded at a time in a form, right? This is all what exactly what this is having. Okay. And here, when you talk about why I opened this is, I just wanted to show you the sys ID, right? The sys ID is what? So always every record, every record in the sense we see, right? Record, this is stored something like this, right? Here is, say, once I take this, the same thing, example like this. This is INC 7, right? So, and here the open, this is actually the open, and this one is a number. Short description, color, priority. This is something like this, right? And the open, when it is open. This one is the short description. Oops, okay. And this is the join employee, right? So I'm just giving, I just highlighted this because I wanted to show, I wanted to show you, right? And so this is how it is. Okay, this is a column, right? This is a record, which is a INC, and this is a record like this, which is a holding in a table. So this is something like this. This is a number, and this is a open. This is a short description. So when you just imagine this, this is whole thing as a table. These are like records. Same thing, just like this, right? This is a number, open, and so and so. So further values have been inserted in this table, right? So each record, right? This record, say for example, this record, right? This record is always in service now. This record is always identified and uh, refer to the table as one unique ID that is called sys ID. Sys ID is right like this. When we say this sys ID, right? Sys ID is having some number, right? So this is sys ID is having. This is 32 character alphanumeric. Okay, this is 32 character alphanumeric. When you count this, these are 32 characters always, right? This is required. Any record in the service now globally it is recognized with this service now. Whenever you say this service ID, this sorry, this sys ID, this is recognizing this record. Whenever you refer this service ID, say for example, this service ID of short description, that means it will show need to access the sales DB for the West, right? So this is how the service ID. And the label, what is the label? So always, whenever I open this one, right? So since this is always whatever we have pasted here, right? I mean, whatever we see here, the columns, actually these are the labels to understand the system. Sorry, to understand the user. So to understand the system, this is actually the value, actual value of this field. So for example, this is a number, number as like number, and sometimes see the caller is caller underscore ID, right? So, but here this is caller and the category. So when you say this is category, there's a caps here and a small here, something like this. So subcategory. So subcategory. So for example, you see here, right? Configuration item, right? This is configuration an item. This is for the easy readable. Okay, easy readable to easy to understand for the user to refer it. Okay, but system will have some other name. That is what here. When we say like right click and show, we see actual what is the column which is holding the value, right? CMDB underscore CA. This is actually the value of this column. Label is to just understand, right? It's something like the pet name what we have, right? So something like this. And even if you see, if you want to see this, right? I think we all know whatever we enter the value, right? We should define whenever we create a table. We should define the what is the value we are going to insert into that particular column or the field. So same thing here. So once we see here, okay, let's see what is the type of this, right? Show the number, right? And this is the okay. Dictionary info is incident or number. See, this is the type is string. And what is the length of this? This is 40, right? And something like this. We can see the properties of this. Whenever we want to see what is this exactly, what is the field which is having, and what is the type, you can see here. Okay, this is the okay, this is the field, this is the field name, and this is the type, and what type of the value it is going to store or it is storing, and what is the length of this. Okay, it depends upon, and this the rest we'll see further. Okay, well, I think we understand, right? What is the table, right? What is the field, what is the sys ID, and what is the label, right? And what are the type which is holding currently, right? So okay, uh, before we going to see, there are the dictionary names and then other stuff. Before I think this is the more theory, and probably we just see how to create the table, and then we come back for this other things, right?
Okay.
So how to create a table? Here there is something like table. So here inside system definition, right? There are tables and table and columns. Okay, we'll see this. What is the tables and columns? First, try to see create the table. So see, we all seen just before we went to the definition and the tables, right? And we see how many tables. See, we are having 5,173 tables. In this, most of them are the base tables. Whenever we install ServiceNow, right? Whenever we install the ServiceNow, it comes. Most of the tables are come with the ServiceNow. So whatever the user is required, right? Whatever user is requiring. Say, for example, this is asset management. We no need to create from the scratch that what what is asset management, what asset management required those fields. Most of them have been given by the service now, and we need to, if at all we want, we can just completely from the scratch we can create it. But still, service now will give some suggestion like, these are the things we can be used, so we can be use this one. So incident also same thing. We seen the incident right before a minute back. So once we open incident also, right? So so these are the in farm also we have seen, right? These are the columns which the service which is already given. So these are the practices based on the company practices it has given. So what generally will be taken, right? What generally will be used. So we have service now is provided all this for the best practices. So here now we see just try to create a new table. So okay, we went here. Okay, inside this system definition that the tables. So we create the here and create the new table, right? So we understand the right. What is it? A label. Label is the name. Okay, which generally to understand, we understand, right? To understand better. Can you please give me some example? So what example can we take here? Say we can take a table service desk. I'm just giving some now. Service desk, right? So but see, the naming convention also something like this. When we see, at least we should try to understand. Once we see the name, right, we have to understand what is this, right? But seeing the name, if we give for the service desk, right, we can give like my name, your name, something like ABC, XYZ. So that is not right. Whenever see label the table, whenever we see the table, we should try at least by the naming. We should able to find it out. What is the purpose of this, right? So here, whenever we click this, right? Always this takes by default. And generally, see, service desk is the table name, and what this actual table is this one, right? The service desk. Whenever the user creates, right? Whenever a user is creating a table, it prefixes with u underscore. That is user defined table. So whenever we see, right, we see this. Okay, this is a u underscore. That means okay, this is not the base table. This table hasn't come from the service now. This has been created by us, by administrator, right? So this is a u underscore service disk is the actual table name. This is the label. So for what we have, sorry, this is a custom table. Exactly, yeah, this is the custom table what user has been created, right? This is not the core table, this is not the base table, and this is not from the service now, and this is from what we have created. A system administrator of ServiceNow has created. This is a custom table, right? So this is this extended table and create module and create mobile module. So here module in the sense like whatever we see here, right? Left side, most of them there. We can create a table, just the table. We don't need to create this check this one. Once we check this, it will be shown here as a module. These are the modules, right? Okay. So here, okay, now what we have done? We have done only creating the table name, right? We just created the table name, just trying to save it. Whatever given, only the label name, and it has taken by itself, right? Which is the global application. Global application is this application can be this table, this module can be accessed all over the service now by any other applications also, right? Okay, and here I've just created the table and I have not created any columns. Previously, once we see that, right? So I think people have observed or not, I'm not sure. Whenever I created when I created, there were no columns. As soon as I just saved, there are a few columns added by default with this. Have you people observed before that? If you're not observed, let's try to create one more table. So go to new, So I'm giving just service desk demo, right? Right here. So I have not created anything. See the columns, right? No columns here. As soon as I saved it, right? There were the few columns we have created. I'm cancel this. I'm canceling. And before that, we have created what was that? Service desk. Right? This is the table which we created, right? Correct? Service desk, and the name was this, right? Open the record. So here, well, as soon as we just saved it, and these columns have been added. So these are the columns which will be added by default. Any table once we create the table, right? So by default it will be created. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 columns by default will be added. So the label, right? The label itself is showing, I mean, saying some information to us. Updated by, updates, updated, created by, sys and created, right? So, and also it has given what are the types. So this holds a string type, this holds an integer, this holds a uh, date and time, and it creates a string, and these are the data types, right? So what's going to hold the values in these columns, right? Okay. So further we see, once we create this, we discuss furthermore about these columns, right? Let's add few columns uh, for this table. So we have created a table, and now we are going to add few columns in this. So as something like this, right? And first thing what we have done, so nothing, right? We have just created a table like this, and then we are trying to add the columns here. Okay. So this is a table, and this is the type. What are the types? Okay. Before we going to see, I mean, the types. Okay. These many types are being available for us. How many types are there? There are 54 data types. These are type is nothing but the type is data type, which this field, okay, and here, okay, and what we are trying to do is we are trying to create like this. Okay, we have created a table here, right? This is a table, and we are trying to create a column, right? So here, what type of the column you want to create, and what type of the column you want to create, this should be right. First thing, service desk, right? What we are creating the table is service desk. We should have the idea like service desk. What should have? This will be having generally the number, right? Incident number generally, right? Incident number should be integer. Right? So whenever we see like integer, it holds only the number. Say previously we have seen the service desk, the incident number, right? It holds INC or something like this. So that particular case, it doesn't accept the integer. So that particular time we have to go with the string. And what is the label? So what we said is what this is going to hold, right? This column, what value is going to hold? This is going to hold the string value, right? And then here, what is the column label? Column name is say uh, service number, right? So whenever we see the label, right, the label is which is defined here is service number, something like this, right? And we have created the column here, right? This is the label is service number, and this holds the value of string. Here we can type string value here, right? Any value. What this value is going to store in this? So this is why value is a string what we have defined here, right? Okay. And as we discussed earlier, right? Label is only the referral name, right? What we generally see from our eyes and to just to understand. So just to pronounce like, this is service, better understand for the user. Okay. But the system will hold like this, u underscore service number. Why is the u again? U again is like, this is a custom field for the custom table. User defined, basically what we can say. U is this, it's a blind mark. We can keep it like u is like, user defined. And the length, we discussed, right? What is the length it should hold? Here, say for example, someone is mentioning just like this, so big, right? I don't want to keep like this, right? I should restrict it. What is the value you should hold? Database always we should define what should be the memory to allocate for that, right? Here we are saying generally is a standard one for the string. So I'm just putting the 40 as a length. Okay. And here this should be active. This is a global, right? It can be a global and this should be active. And we'll see this later part of time. Okay. And choice list, this also we see here. Default also we see further. Okay, just try to submit. What we have done so far, we have created table and we have created column, right? With the label we have given. Inside this, the system is taken this what is the system value and what kind of value we are going to store. What is the length we have defined? Is it right? So here we see here, right? The columns, right? These are the default columns, right? And what we have created is this one. So this is what we have created, is the column label, right? The service number is a label and the type is a string, and we have not put anything, right? Max is this one, and created just before, right? Just now we have created, right? So we want to, let's create column. One more column is what, customer. So why this is the customer is invalid? Here supposed to be what type, right? Again, what is this? Customer is the name, right? String value. Any question that, yeah, why it is one more string is coming, right? Whenever we type string, one more is coming. Full UTF-8. Anyone?
No idea.
Okay, no problem. So this one is the type is string. The column is customer, right? The column name by default it has to take, right? Again, we give column the username sometimes. Okay, let it be what is what the maximum length or what we can give, right? So here again we submit over here. So we see here, right? Again, one more column has been added, right? Like this. So let's add one more service name, service number, customer, and just put one more like, one more as uh, address, right? Address is big one, right? So address.
Yes.
So address. So address has been added. Let's put one more number, one more column. Type. Let's go for the integer. Why I'm going for the integer is I'm going to mobile number. I'm going to enter mobile number. Okay. Max length. Max length. Not required, I guess, for this. Okay. Submit. So by default it takes 40. Okay. So what we have created so much. Okay. Let's see. And what have we done so far? Okay. This is service number and customer address, right? Address and right? This is what we created. Let's see how it is working in this. Okay, go to tables again. And recently what we have created, this one, right? Service desk is a table, right? This service is a table, and this is okay. So once we open this, we see all this and how to access this, how to enter the values inside this, right? Okay. So for this, just service desk. So sorry, service desk. Hmm. So here you're asking why the these cross marks have come here, right? Right. So here these are from till here, right? I mean from updated to the created. We don't see this. These are system created columns. System created columns. We cannot create. We cannot delete them. But we have created. The user created. These are the this is the custom table and these are the custom fields. We can delete them whenever we want, but not this. So that's why this is the cross marks have come. This is the into, right? Mark for deletion. If you want to delete, we can delete it. Okay. So here we have created this, right? Service desk. We don't have any data, right? We have not see so far what we have done. We have just created this. We have not inserted any data. So we told that what data has to be created and what data has to put in this particular field and what is the size of this, right? Okay. And here, if you want to create, if you want to put the data inside this, go to this table and because here whenever we are creating, right, we created like create as a module, so it has created, it is appearing here. So go here and go for the new. So here what we are trying, service number, just say to just try understanding rs service number. Okay, 0001. Okay, customer, who is the customer? Okay, Chiranjeevi, address Jubilee Hills, Hyderabad. Okay, mobile number 977665599, right? Something like this. And then what we are trying to do here, the same thing. We are trying to insert a value, right? Service number 001. Customer is address is correct. Mobile number is something like this. Correct. This is what we are trying to do here. Okay. Oh, I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So many numbers. Okay. Yeah, there are commas have come because it is integer. We have to remove. We can. Yeah. Yeah, long number we have to change. I just put like this. Okay, for this time. See here, what we have done. We have same thing. If you want to add one more SRN, right? Customer is Balakrishna. Address is his number is something. Okay, some number. Submit. We have not added anything default. We have not added any default. So far, what we have done? What we have done is just created this columns and we are trying to insert the values. Right? This is how the table. You want me to create new? Okay. We created, right? So far, what we created, right? So far, what we done is the same thing. asking, so those are for the system. Those will not show here. This is for the user defined. This is a custom. This is what we want. That is what the system want. That is what we want for the querying purpose. We want for the some other purpose. Actual data is this. To maintain this data, we want some metadata. That is what it is. We'll see that in further how it is storing, right? You understand? So this so far you understand, right? This is what we created. We created the columns, right? And we are trying to insert the values inside this. So this is the basically the table and the columns. And we were referred, right? What is a table? Table is combination of rows, right? Rows, right? This is a row, right? This is a row, one row. This is another row, right? These are rows and the columns, right? This is a column. So address means this address and this is address. This is a column. Always is a table. Table is always stores the information in the form of rows and columns, right? And here, okay, yeah, please. You want to put it address? That we will see that probably. So these are the basic. I mean, we are just very basic level of the tables, right? So I just wanted to make you understand what is the table, what is the field, what is the system ID, and what is the label. Okay, and uh, generally we see every we know, right, in a service now each and everything is stored in the form. Each every information is stored in a table, and that means this table information also has stored in some places, right? So this one also stored in some place. So this is called dictionary. And when we go to the dictionary will have all the other information, or complete the system dictionary information, right? So how many entries are here? 137,000, right? So this is something like which is the what is the table name, right? What is this column is referred to, and what is the type, what is the reference, and all the things this will be having. So generally user ID will have something, and name also having something. So here once you click this, right? So what type of this, right? This is the type, and this is the column label, and this. To just once we have created, right? If you want to see this, so we can go here, we can see, or if you still we want it, we can change it. This is just the modification one, right? We can modify over here. If you want to do this, delete, yes, we can. If you want to change, see, okay, so far this is the address, right? We try to change address, customer, mobile number. So what was this mobile number? There was a commas were coming, right? Because this integer, the commas were coming. So if you don't want to do this, there is a what is the type? Long integer, is it? What is that? No long in this. Number. Oh, where is the long number? There is no long number. Now, what data type you want to keep? There is no long in this. There is no, I mean, number. There should be a long. Oh, well, let me try here. LNG. Invalid reference. Oh, it's supposed to be long, right? Mhm. Let's keep for the time being string. Huh? Invalid reference. Okay, we will see this. Okay, later. Don't want to waste the time here. There's supposed to be a long where we can modify this. Okay. So this is a dictionary. What it holds this all of this one. So before going to this, we see data types, right? What are the data types it supports? Previously, when we create the column, right? Even we have seen from here. We have seen from here. So let's go to the table, system definition tables, and from your service desk is the table which you created. Try to add one more column, right? The types. Okay, how many types are there? There are so many types are there, right? There are 54 types are there. Okay, this is a password and the fixed currency, and there is the true or false, right? True or false, we all know true or false, right? There's a boolean, right? The calendar, date and time, data structure, due date, an icon, password, translate HTML, geopoint, audio, video, conditions, scripts, HTML, IP addresses, field name, and general list, choice, references, long. Yeah, we try to do this